Welcome to Cities Untold Lowtown. I'm Nate, and I'm going to give you a hands-on demonstration of our brand new freestanding wooden wall system. Let's dive in and take a look. Everything you're about to see are handmade prototypes cast in-house in resin. They are often imperfect or even unfinished. The versions you'll receive will be factory finished in dwarvenite and will be much more precise and consistent. Viewer discretion is advised. So this is our freestanding wooden wall collection. We have a 2-inch straight, we have an 1 5/8 straight, and this is an 1 5/8 because when you put it up against a city builder wall, that gives you exactly 2 inches. So you can stay on the 2-inch grid. This is a 1-inch straight, and this is a 1-inch straight that terminates in a point, and that is for slotting into our city builder corner posts. And we'll show you exactly how that's intended to be used later. Then we have a 1-inch corner. We have an 1 5/8 door wall. This will be a hinged door. It hasn't been tooled yet. Right now it's just held in with some white stick. And then we have my favorite piece of the lineup. We have this 2-inch corner that has an angled door in it. This door also will be hinged. All the walls are double-sided. They'll have an anchor magnet on the bottom if you want to build directly on terrain trays. It would be a fast way to do some building. In addition, they'll have a small, like 3mm diameter magnet on one side and a piece of metal on the other, so it'll help them stick together for stability in some of your builds. So there's a ton of ways these 7 pieces can be used to build a huge variety of walls, both inside and outside in a whole bunch of biomes. Let's see how they go together. So the general approach with the freestanding walls is to build the perimeter of a building using city builder walls and floors, but then doing the fine building inside with the freestanding walls. So the most basic level, you can use this diagonal corner door wall like that. So if you wanted to make like a little mudroom here, there's an entrance here, boom. Or you could, maybe it's just a little closet, put a solid wall there. Closet. So that thing just stands on its own and immediately makes a little room. You could enlarge it if you wanted to add like add the 1-inch wall there. You get a little larger, or you could go the other direction, get this way. But that's generally you kind of put them in and sort of move them around and adjust a little bit till you get the sort of shape of the thing you're looking for. It is a little bit, can be an organic process as you're going with them, but they're really sort of simple to just start laying stuff down and see what happens. So you could start with a wall, figure out where you want your door. Maybe it wants to be smaller. Maybe put a door over there. Let's come around the corner. Does that fit? Yeah. Ooh, let's go this direction. And these are prototypes, so they don't have the magnets on. The magnets are going to help hold them together. Maybe you can make this room larger. We'll swap it out from the 1 5/8, the 2-inch. Make it a little bigger. If you want to terminate, these walls right now have all been terminating against the city builder walls. If you want to terminate a wall into the corner posts, the best looking way to do it is to use the angle end pieces, right? So you can drop one of those in and then build off there. And you can also combine these with, you could put a post in and a city builder wall inside and then build in and around that also if you wanted. It lets you make little narrow corridors and the like, and you can build off, like once you have one wall built, you could build from that wall. This time I'm going to turn this into a little corridor. Thing here, is this going to fit? Yeah, let's see. One, slide it out. Boom. So you can just sort of keep adjusting. Let's say we want to make that wider. Let's make that going across. Let's move this door over here. So the system lets you sort of quickly and easily break up a big space into a lot of more interesting spaces that you could then make a cool encounter out of, or just a fun looking map. They're fun to build with. So this is an example of the freestanding wooden walls in an actual build situation. So the base of this is built with our floors and standard city builder walls are on the perimeter, but everything on the inside is freestanding walls with a couple of curtains. So I'll show you the techniques we're using here. So both here and here, we're using the angled end pieces to go right into a corner post, so it butts right up nicely against the wall. So if you have a wall that's going to terminate where a corner post is, use one of these, and it makes it look very nice and smooth. Using the angle, the door corners, a couple of places to give you some kind of neat geometry where the door's at a corner and makes the room a little more interesting. And I like popping those in to sort of break up the rooms in fun ways. Over here, we're using the 2-inch freestanding curtain. It's the same height as these walls and works really nicely in line with them as another way to have a doorway. And in this case, we have a nice little angle here, so it feels a little more real. Everything's not like the exact perfect 90 degrees, so it kind of breaks up this room, makes this feel a little more real. We've done the same gag with a curtain back here, right? Doing a curtain between sort of the kitchen and the storeroom. Same thing over here, it's just a straight run with a corner using the, and this could have been a 2-inch wall, but I wanted to try and put a curtain so we could kind of easily go from the kitchen to the storeroom. This is a little wall behind the bar with a door in there so you can get in and out. Angled door here, another door in the back to go out the back door. And the idea here is if you were going to have a combat or something, having all these little doors and rooms makes it an interesting place to explore. People could be jumping out of the rooms and ambushing the players. They have to sort of go room to room and explore. But it really lets you break up this space, right? What would otherwise be a pretty big square space into a lot of interesting smaller areas that feel like an actual tavern that you might build for an encounter. This is an example of using the freestanding wooden walls in an exterior build. In this case, it's a 12 by 12 little slum yard. So what we did here is we're building the walls directly on the terrain trays. So the magnets on the bottom can grip to the metal terrain tray and hold everything in place. And this is a very fast way to build. You can just throw down a couple of buildings and then interconnect them with these walls to make a variety of fences and a bunch of little yards. And because we're building everything on the terrain tray and they're freestanding, we're free to kind of put them in any angle we want. So in this case, everything's really cattywampus and all over the place, so it makes a kind of disorienting labyrinth of little yards and doors and obstacles. So if you were doing a chase or something through here, it would be a fun dynamic place where lots of different ways to go, and you could be jumping in through buildings and out through windows and over fences and through the gates and the like. You could also extrapolate this thing out and make it like a 2 foot by 2 foot build. You can make a really neat scatter skirmish build using just a few buildings and a bunch of these fences to have a lot of ways to block line of sight and block movement and make for a dynamic encounter. So finally, this is an example of using the freestanding wooden walls in an exterior build that's not cities. So in this case, we've built it with a bunch of our Aranthor mountain pieces from our Wildlands line. So this is a 1 foot by 1 foot. It's a mine entrance or a fortified mine encampment. Maybe it was a mine that's been taken over by goblins or bandits or something, and they fortified it up so no one would come in. But we're building just the same as we did in the other situations. We have down here, these walls are built directly on the battle board. So the magnets on the bottom are holding to the metal on the battle board. And you don't have to use them all in a straight line, right? We can do some really nice fun angles, especially using this diagonal corner. So it makes the wall feel a little more haphazard, maybe a little more dangerous, and you can kind of weave it around the existing rocks. We even put a little accessories to the swinging stake trap from Wildlands, so there's a surprise for the first person to come through the doors. And up on the sides here, just building the walls in line with each other, magneted together at slight angles to make them feel a little more interesting. A little door to sneak out the back over there. And then the last one is we have the 1 5/8" door piece here put with the backside out, so it feels like the heavy timbers, and that makes it feel sort of like the entrance of a mine, like a fortified entrance that they dug in there. And we've decorated it with a couple of accessories from the city to make it feel like a mining camp, including the hoist pole accessory. So you could use that maybe in the combat or something. But this would be a great build you could use as is, or you could build it out larger, like 2x2 if you wanted to do like a skirmish battle or something. And mostly this is just to inspire you and show you that the freestanding walls can work anywhere, right? We can use them out in the mountains, you can use them in the forest, you can put them inside your castle as interior walls, outside your castle as a little fort, in your caverns, in your dungeons, really anywhere you can use them anywhere. They work really well, very versatile system and fun to build with. And that's everything you need to know about our freestanding wooden wall system. Be sure to check out all of our Cities Untold Lowtown videos to learn about everything we have to offer in this Kickstarter. And like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on this or any other quality content from us here at Dwarven Forge. And with that, it's back to the anvil.